We're not here to make it the numbers, we're here to compete as well. This squad, with the power they have on their day, they can do anything they want.
Welcome to the Glassgirls network, proud sponsors of
Me, DZ.
Mill Rogers.
So, just a little one, catch up. We've had a few games since we've done the last one. We've had Donny Bowles followed by Wem,
Followed by Lee.
Donny Bowles followed by Lee, followed by Wem. Games come around thick and fast, it's hard to remember which one we played and when. So we'll start with the Donny Bowles one. Nice trip to Doncaster, nice away day. What do you make of it, Kieran?
Yeah, I mean, I think Donny Bells, they were always going to be a tough test. They were one of the teams that in our league was sort of always going to be up there, I think, and they've shown it this season. They're in a really good position. But yeah, it was going to be a test, and we fought really, really hardly. Some great goals scored that day as well. And yeah, I think it was a really, really good performance by everyone all over the pitch really to get the 3 points that we wanted. And yeah, well, I think when you're looking at the table now, Donny Bells, they are still within catching distance of us. I definitely don't rule it out. But I think we've really, sort of pushed them aside with that result. And yeah, we're hopefully going to just, see out this top position now. And then hopefully, if we can win the games against, the home fixture against Sporting Calcer, Solihull in November, we're just going to hopefully go even further clear.
Yeah, for me it was a big historic day in general. Like playing a club of that size, where they've been, what they've achieved in the women's game, and us going there and doing the job that we did. It was very, very good. We have got Anthony with us today, all the way from Hayward Heath, making an appearance. So I know you've been paying attention to everything on Twitter. So what have you made of the past few games?
Yeah, no, it's brilliant. I'm always Richard Clark, so reliable. Gives you an in-depth of how the game's going in that, and me, I come up with the player songs in the Twitter chant. It's brilliant. Like you said with the Doncaster game, it's crazy how things change for teams. Like Doncaster, only 5 years ago were playing WSL football. They're the likes of Jess Sigsworth, Kirsty Hampson, Chloe Peplow, people that have played for Brighton, Manchester United, and whereas Stour were the opposite end, Tier 6. So it's crazy how football changes, and it's to do with backing mainly. If you've got the backing, then you can improve. And what I've noticed, they're in the club, it's run good. Like they get backed, Fisher gets backed. So no, it's great, and I'm excited to see the remaining games. Obviously, I'll come up to as many as I can and support the girls.
Yeah, just to reiterate that, the way that the club in general has been pushed through and being ran, it's great from top to bottom. You look at all levels of the women's game that we've got through Stourbridge. G and Meg, their girls getting results week in, week out. It's the 18s again. Big results for them the past few weeks, beating the Oaks of Coventry and then Derby yesterday. Another cracking result. So it is the way the club's being run is from top to bottom brilliantly at the moment.
Yeah, I think that's something that is really important, and that you want to have that sort of consistency throughout. You don't want your first team doing really well and then everything else sort of falling behind. Where you maybe focusing on bringing in players from wherever it might be, but you've got to remember that you have such a great core here at Stour as well. All the resis, they could easily start into the first team. Obviously we saw Ruby in the first team again the other night, and yeah, that was really good to see because she's been doing great with the reserves. So yeah, to see that Fisher and Mike can easily just slot her in, and she could have scored on that night as well. She played really well, I thought. So yeah, it was good to see. And yeah, I think it really said a lot about the sort of like I said, the core that we have here at Stour, and how it's sort of it's sort of like I don't know the right word to describe it really, but it's sort of the process of getting to the first team from whatever that might be, the 18s, the reserves.
Yeah, they cleared the pathway. I think.
Yeah, the pathway. That's
is there for them.
For.
Throughout the whole club, you can see if you're good enough, you'll get chances. And I think most of the players are of that standard. where they are good enough.
Yeah.
It's frightening to think as well. Look at the players we've got. Like with Knox and now being injured missing the past few, whether it's been Knox or holidays, you still got the likes of Neil Murphy to get back fit. Hopefully it's not too serious. You've got Hannah Fishwick on the road to recovery. Amber Lawrence back off holiday.
Back today.
Back today. It's frightening to think of when you've got that calibre of player not there, and we're still doing the stuff that we do week in, week out.
Yeah.
It's like the League 10 game. I think every player on that pitch was absolutely superb. When 4-0,
3-0,
3-0. Really, really good performance throughout though. Professional performance. Could have been a lot more.
Definitely.
Yeah, I was kept checking Twitter, and Richard kept going, "Oh, chance for Stour." They obviously got the one goal, and then I went to John. I think it's this game because they all go into one. I was like, they definitely need another one. And luckily they did get a couple more. It just because you know the game never safe at 1-0.
Yeah.
It's always could go either way. So it was important with all them chances that gone begging that they did get that second one, which was brilliant.
I've got to mention the goals that we've scored. Some of them
Oh,
in the past few weeks have been absolute worldies.
Yeah.
I think it was the League Little Beth's goal, smashed it near enough to the net off. Then you had
Lindsay Glover.
But then you got to look away at Donny, makes absolute thunder.
I mean, we could talk about
Alex Nickling's goal.
Even got the reserve team,
and then
exactly,
Chelsea's masterclass of free kicks. So that's just reiterating about the depth that we've got in the way that even the Resis, so you could trust them to come in and do it. Or with the way that we've been playing, it's so hard for anyone to get, no matter how good they are. It's just we're playing so well, which is really, really good to see.
Yeah, I think speaking of goals as well, I just wanted to speak about Lindsay's goal against who was it again? League Town, of course. Lindsay's goal. I think it would really been coming for the past few games. She was it Kelso, I think she hit the bar.
Yes.
She'd had some good saves in previous games as well being made. It was definitely coming. I think it is something that might have been playing on her mind a little bit. So to get it over and done with, you got your first goal now, and then she follows it up in the next game at Wem with an absolute banger. Which, to be fair, it's very harsh to say, but it might have not even been the top 3 goals of the match because the quality in that game was unreal. I'm so happy for Lindsay to score. I think it's really going to help her now. She's going to push on from that. And I think we're going to see the best out of Lindsay Glover throughout the rest of the season now.
Player, it looks like she's been given a new lease of life where she's moved further forward.
Yeah.
We are seeing the best of Lindsay Glover, I think, at the moment, where she's playing that more forward role, more direct. The balls into the box have been great. The corners as well.
Oh, yeah. Top class.
We talk about the attack as well, but the defence as well.
Yeah.
Rich put a stat, we haven't conceded at the War Memorial Ground in a year.
Yeah.
So touch wood, that's still comes in. But the defence, it doesn't matter who goes in defence. Like you have the likes of Neil Murphy out, and then Hazelgrave comes in. Bates can do a job. Allen, all that. They all know their role when they get their opportunity.
Yeah.
So it's brilliant.
Yeah, no, I think that's something that we've touched on quite a bit, isn't it? So the sort of squad rotation aspect of it, and I think in the defence maybe that is more so the case because I know we have probably more defenders than attackers at the club, which I guess you're going to have. It's important both to know that they're going to come in and do a job and not look out of place at all, but also you want to mix it up. You want to give your opponent no idea of what you're going to throw at them. They're all defenders that offer quite a bit different.
Yes.
There's your Sophie Levitt. You're not going to compare her to maybe a Kieran Allen.
Yeah.
They're very, very different defenders. So to keep the opposition guessing on what they're going to face is definitely very good. It's just another sort of string to the bow almost where Stour can switch it up, like I say, and maybe throw an opposition off if they're not expecting what they might have been looking into before the match.
Well, like I say, we've just mentioned all of them, and then the one for me that's been the big standout, Debbie Clark.
Yes,
that girl is absolutely
what a player!
It's the goal against Wem, Just the control on that strike, left foot,
for a fullback as well, you know, you're not expecting her to absolutely unleash a volley from just outside the area, mate. She's so good at football, like it has to be said. I mean, when she receives the ball out wide and she cuts in through the centre and sort of turns into almost like an inverted wing back, and she's driving to goal. She's literally unstoppable. The ball control, you know, it's like she's got it on a string to her foot.
It is like there is glue on her boot.
Literally,
it's really bewildering to watch it on. Look how good she actually is. We have got a nice run of home games as well coming up.
We do. We'll get them up. We'll get them up.
Good. We've got
so obviously Long Eaton today. Yeah, should we speak about that real quick? Yeah. What were your sort of thoughts going into this?
I think it's a tough one because potentially could be a banana skin game for us because we've got to have the right mindset because of where we are and where they are in the table. It could be a big banana skin, but knowing how Fisher, Harris, and Harry would have prepared for the game, we'll be as professional as ever and we'll get the job done. So I am looking forward to it. It'll be a good test again. An opposition that I don't really know much about, but it'll be a good test for us to go up against them and see what they're about.
Yeah, Anthony.
Yeah, no, pretty much what he said. But all the teams in this league are in this league for a reason because they deserve to be there. It doesn't matter if you're playing. It's a first v second or a first v 12. If you go into that game thinking, "Oh, we're going to walk this over," you're going to slip up.
Yep.
And the girls won't be thinking that. They know Fisher will tell them, like, you treat this as any other game. That they're bottom of the league, but that means nothing. You still need to put that work in. You don't put that effort in, and that you
they teach the professionalism,
exactly.
Which is what they've shown week in week out.
And I know they will be professional as ever. So I'm looking forward to the game. I am confident. Obviously, you have to be, but until you get a couple ahead, you always have that. You're always a bit worried.
Yeah.
But
For us, we're in the stands, and it's usually until we get our first goal on a nervous wreck.
Oh yeah, even after the first goal. Even after the first goal.
I'm a nervous wreck but as long as we stay professional.
Exactly. Yeah. I think like you mentioned in the previous game, it was league. Sorry. When Lilbeth got that goal, it wasn't sort of a foregone conclusion that we were going to win this game. We needed a couple more, and we did get them. And
I'd like to go slightly a bit off topic now.
Go for it.
When I turned up at the club, what was your first thought? Because obviously at this level you're not used to it, are you?
No. My first. When was it was Kiddie, right?
Kiddie.
Yeah, Kiddie. So yeah, I remember that game. I remember the game. And yeah, I don't know what I thought really. I wasn't expecting it. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think it opens up a whole new dynamic, doesn't it? Really, to the game because it's something people aren't expecting. It's something that the players have now got to deal with.
Yeah.
It's interesting. I wonder how much it does play on sort of like the psychology and mentality of the players because I can imagine it is quite a bit. Obviously playing in an atmosphere is always going to be different to just playing with nobody watching.
Yeah.
And it is something that the players might have to get used to if we're going to progress up the pyramid even more. Then you might get you sort of teams that have got supporters like yourself and I think
that's well because it gets into the opposition's head as well.
Definitely.
I haven't heard it, but Harris and Fisher have told me at the Lincoln game, one of the players was going, "I wish they would just shut up." it just if I heard that, it would make me be louder.
Yeah.
I put that, and I would do my other chant. I'll sing when I want. But,
yeah.
No, it is good. But going back onto topic,
I've got it. Well, for me, it was a different story because I didn't meet you until, and then it was just like very, very, very loud.
Yeah.
Crazy as a box of frogs.
Yeah.
I think that's the right way to put it.
Yeah.
In a good way. In the best way. In the best way.
Heart of gold and only wants the best for the club.
Exactly.
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask as well. So obviously you came down last night. You were sort of in the club last night. What was that sort of like? Introducing yourself to a few more people.
Well, it's good. Like I'll go to the club. I've been there a few times now, and the chairman Andy was like, he's like, he knows me now. He's like, all right, mate. They bought us a drink and that. He would tell people that I haven't sadly met. He was like, oh, he's come from Brighton.
Yeah.
Because it's easier to say Brighton than Hayward Heath. You put Hayward say Hayward Heath at the start. And I thought,
Oh, well,
blimey.
that's where you're from. Not many
They're
people
all going
know
to
where
think,
that
oh
is.
yeah, where's that? So yeah, no, Brighton's the nearest city, about 20-minute train journey. But no, it's great, and they're all getting used to it more now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and they know I want what's best for the club, like everyone else does. So no, it's brilliant.
So, one that I want to speak about as well is how much are we looking forward to next Friday?
Oh, mate, it's going to be
Friday night game with the lights away at Newcastle.
I can't wait for it. You know, Newcastle is not a team that I know anything about. I don't really know which tier they're in. I know they're lower than us. But yeah, tier 7. Okay, so yeah, you would have thought on paper a tier 4 side versus a tier 7 side, it might be, you know, a walk in the park, but I don't think that'll be the case.
FA Cup.
Yeah, FA Cup, the magic of the FA Cup, anything can happen. And Newcastle, you know, I think that they played games previously on a Friday before, and they've always had really, really good crowds.
700 they were the other week.
Yeah.
Which is a very, very, very good gate. And
For a tier 7 side as well,
having
that's insane.
that numbers through the door is very, very good. It can only give them the world of confidence as well, having the backing that they get. But very much like today for me, as long as we stay professional and play our game, do what we do, it's...
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think you know, we're going to bring quite a few as well. I would have thought the coach is going to be packed. You know, the races as well, I imagine, will make their way up there on a Friday night. So yeah, it'll be really interesting. I think it's definitely going to be a test, like you say. But you know, Stour have a history in the FA Cup, both the men's side and now the women's side, considering you know what we did last season. So yeah, the FA Cup is always a competition that the club's going to enjoy. We want to progress as far as we can. And yeah, we're going to hope that we can start that off well with a game against Newcastle, of course, and yeah, see where it goes from there.
You speaking of that, how nice was it to see yesterday down at the men's game, Dan Scar?
Yeah.
How nice was it for him to be down there?
Yeah.
He's got a big history at Stourbridge.
Yeah, I mean, if there's anyone that knows about the FA Cup at Stourbridge, it's Dan Scar. I mean, yeah, you know, he's an absolute legend of the men's game, and yeah, I think if we can replicate that sort of in the women's game, you know, maybe get a big tie like we did against Derby, like we did against Sheffield United, and someone makes themselves a hero, they will go down in Stourbridge legend for years to come.
Well, yeah. We've already had that with the likes of Courtney Murphy,
Courtney
absolute
Murphy,
screamer at Derby to win the game in the last kick of the ball, absolute unreal. But like I say, it's just going to be a magical night under the lights on a Friday. Can't wait.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a new test as well, because obviously training I don't know what they're doing with training, might have to be rescheduled, you know, switching things around. Obviously no game on the Sunday then as well. It might throw us off schedule a bit, you know, but I think we can adapt quite well. We're going to, you know, be fine with that, I would have thought. So yeah, it's a new test. It's an interesting test, but it's a test that I'm definitely looking forward to seeing how we do.
Yeah, anything for you input on it? Or?
Well, you know, I'd like to come. I don't think my work's going to see this video, so I would say I could potentially come, but it means pulling a sickie at work.
Oh dear.
It has crossed my mind.
Tactical sick days.
Yeah, but we'll see. But no, like I said, I like to see a game under the lights. It's just that for some reason, the atmosphere under the lights is something about it.
It's very different, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think we spoke about that when I sort of did my segment at the end of the last episode of this. It is a very different atmosphere under the lights on like whatever it is, a Tuesday, a Wednesday, whatever it might be. It's something very new. We don't experience it all that often, really. You know, we've had maybe 1, 2 this season, maybe already.
Yeah,
so
Women Calcer.
Yeah, that's the one.
Both away.
Yeah, but yeah, especially at the War Memorial last season. You know, we had some great games under the lights, some that stick in the memory, of course. I think it was Worcester, I think. That was a really good game, I seem to remember. So yeah, it's going to be a really, really good game, I thought, you know. But yeah, like I say, I think it's going to be a test, but I think we can overcome it with flying colours, really.
Right, so, and now, we're a third through the season now, just over the third through.
Yeah.
Where did you think we would be compared to where we are?
I mean, I think when you look back on the episode we did before the start of the season, we were all like, we want to do, you know, obviously do well, but I don't think we believed it would go this well. I don't think anyone anywhere could have predicted how this season's gone for us.
Especially after the Sheffield game.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. You know, Sheffield. I think Sheffield was so important to us because I think it sort of brought us back down to earth. This is the National League now. We need to set the standard. And yeah, I think if we hadn't have had that game, then I don't think we'd be doing this well. You might have seen one or two, you know, lapses in concentration, maybe drop a few points here and there. So you know, to get that loss and then win every game since then, it's reminiscent of last season where you know, obviously Sophie Levick, shout out Sophie Levick, you know, doing her bit for what they call it, Sutton Coldfield, sorry. Obviously that was a year ago the other day. I think that really brought us back down to earth in that league as well that we were in, and we knew we couldn't allow any more of these slip ups, and we didn't. For the rest of the season we went unbeaten in the league, obviously, you know, only losing in a few competitions against really good opposition. So yeah, I think they're important to have those losses, and you know, it's the old saying, isn't it? You learn more from a defeat than you do with a win.
Yeah, I'd reiterate that for really all the way through. It's been nice to see how the character that we show and the way that we did bounce back from the start of the season. We've proved that we're just professional and we can do it, and that's the best thing.
So before we wrap up, are we going to do predictions on today's game?
Yeah, let's do it. Okay, so what we think is Josh starts off.
7-0. Go big.
Okay, I'm going with 5-0.
Well, it's always one on the caution side, isn't there?
Yeah, on the fence there.
What are you thinking?
I'm going 8-0.
8-0. Okay. I mean, yeah, like I say, I'm expecting a bit of rotation. I don't think it's going to be our strongest lineup. And Long Eaton, I think they're going to want to start kicking on now, and you know, whether they do it today or not is going to be a different question. But I think they're going to want to prove themselves, and whether they do or not, who knows? But I think it's going to be tough. You know, like you say earlier, everyone's in this league for a reason. You know, they're all a quality outfit in themselves, and yeah, it's going to be tough. But you know, if we can see 8-0, I won't be complaining.
Depends how they cope with my singing.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right, we'll wrap it up with the final saying: we don't stop.
We don't stop. Bosh.